Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the final part of our dual battery install. I've kept it quite simple, to be fair, and I've kind of done it the way I want to do it and the way I want to visually see my setup. Others might want to do it a different way. They might want to do it slightly cleaner. They might want to do it so it's all hidden, whatever it might be. But this works for me so far, so I'm really quite happy with how it went. We've got the single isolator, the accessory fuse box, and we've got the accessory panel all wired in, ready to start accepting all the bits and pieces adding onto it. So I'm fully recovered now after having put my back out from lifting the battery the last time. So yeah, so here's the final part of the install and how I set the wiring up.
Trying to remember to do a few updates as we go. So in this back panel now, we have got the isolator. So this will be the isolator to the secondary battery. And that is then wired through. So I'll show you on the back. So this is the auxiliary fuse box, which we're going to use for accessories. So the fridge will run off this, any additional lighting, all that kind of stuff can potentially run off this as well. This panel will actually run off this as well. So I'm going to wire a, so this is going to have a fused accessory switch box, which will then wire directly into these, and there's a positive and a negative that comes off this, which then allows all this to work. So this will be like a primary fuse box for this whole section, and then each of these individual wires are actually fused for each of the accessories. So that's what works quite nicely. It's quite neat on the back. We've got enough room, hopefully. Hang on, I'll show you. So on here, it looks a bit of a mess, but that's the pre-wiring for the accessory panel, all the switches. And this is where the isolator comes through the back of this panel. So that's the isolator, and this is basically where the battery will run to the secondary battery. So that's got an inline fuse, 60 amp inline fuse. That will basically make this isolator switch the primary positive for the secondary battery. Then we'll have run off that will be the fuse box, accessory fuse box, and this will also run to the output, so the larger blue wire of the DC to DC charger as well, which is the output. So this will then feed back. So this needs to be switched on for obviously it to be feeding back into the battery, and it also needs to be switched on for any of the accessories to work. So it seemed like a good place to put the primary isolator. So that should work quite nicely. Hopefully it will fit in. I'm gonna cover all of these bolts sticking out from the connectors, because obviously we've got a metal panel of the DC-DC charger sitting here. So I'm probably going to cover that panel with something like rubber as well, just to double check, and put covers over these as well, just to make sure nothing rubs through. So what we finished doing now is we've got the main master switch sorted out. So that is now set up, and that isolates the second battery from everything else in the system. Okay, so that is the primary feed isolator from the second battery, positive to anything else in the system whatsoever, including the fuse box. Once this is on, we're going to feed across to the DC to DC converter inside and the fuse box here. Hence why when we turn it on, we get power across the auxiliary board. So the auxiliary board is now wired in, so it's getting full voltage, 14.9 volts, really good actually. So we've got some USB ports at the bottom, a 12 volt adapter port here, and we've also got these switches basically, which I'll be using for the side lights that we've got set up on the rack and other bits and pieces. So have a quick look inside. Okay, so this is what we've got. Can't really see a great deal. We've got the Bluetooth monitor there going into the socket, so it's all tidied away. The strap is working really well, and we'll just turn this off for the time being. And then behind the scenes we have, this is what we have. So we've got the auxiliary board wired straight in through to the fuse box. So that's the yellow and green wire coming through to here, and that makes the rest of this live. So basically we just put in a live fused cable from here to whatever it is we're trying to do. So that'll go to maybe the right hand side lights, that'll go to the left hand side lights, whatever I choose to do. And I've got some cable management just to attach the back of this as well. Then we've got the isolator at the back. Just got it into view. Isolator at the back here. Rather long to stop it from touching anything metal. And that's the main feed going through to the battery itself. Got the DC to DC charger there. Set for AGM. It is, yep, set for AGM. And we've also now got the ignition wire plugged in. I did use a piggyback in the end, mainly because I had one spare, and I also am anticipating using this because I think I'm going to put a tow hitch on, a tow bar on, sorry. Tow hitch in America, I think they call them. So I didn't really want to start poking around and using those as an ignition live wire. So that is it. It's really nice and tidy. Everything fits in there. It's a tight squeeze, but it does fit in. As and when we go to use more bits of equipment, I'm sure it'll get slightly more tight in there. But it does all fit. All the cables sit quite nicely above the DC charger. It does close. So nice and neat. That's a decent, it's a 95 amp hour battery. So that should last a while. It's a leisure battery too, so it should be pretty good. And everything fits. So it's not, there we go. Cut that out. So this fits in there quite nicely. Everything fits in. Nice and tidy. It shouldn't get pulled around too badly. And the point of the way I've wired it up is that the leisure battery should just stay completely off now. So that means if I'm going on a long trip, I can turn this on, and that will keep the fridge on because I'll be powered from straight from there, and the DC-DC charger will be on and powering that second battery as well. For the time being, I'm leaving it off because I don't really need it on at the moment. I've got nothing in the boot here at the minute. The battery will stay charged because there's nothing being drawn off it apart from that little Bluetooth monitor. But if I'm going on a long journey, just pop back here, switch it on, and then the batteries will float themselves. So that should work quite nicely. That's about it really. We'll see how it goes over the next few months of trying it out. I might do a few changes, but we'll wait and see. For the time being, I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, so that's it. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, comment if you think it's terrible, comment if you think it's good. If you've got any better ideas or things that you think I've missed, do let me know. And be sure to come back. I have some more videos on the L322 and other adventures I'm going on with the kids very soon. Thanks.